Well, November is National Alzheimer's Awareness Month, and it's also National Caregivers Month, and they kind of go together. And joining us today, Senior Director of Programs with the Alzheimer's Association of Northwest and Central Ohio, Pam Myers. And thanks for joining us.
Hi, Holly. Thank you for having us.
Okay, so let's talk about this. I mean, you want to raise more awareness about Alzheimer's, but caregivers are an important part of the whole situation, right? So it's kind of good to talk about the two together.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you that over 80% of people who are living with dementia live at home in the community. And so it's really important that we support and take good care of our caregivers. There's usually about 1 to 3 people that care for that person in the home, and they just need a lot of support, a lot of love, and just help in doing that, because it's difficult taking care of a person living with dementia full time.
And I assume they're the last ones that say, I don't need to go to the doctor, I don't need to do this, but you got to coach them along, make sure that they do stuff for themselves.
Absolutely. And that's so important, because the best thing, research has proved this, the best thing that a caregiver can do is take care of themselves, because they have to be available, they have to be on point, and so they need to make sure they're getting enough rest. They need to make sure they're eating right, getting some exercise, and taking a break once in a while. It's okay to take a break. It can be very exhausting, a very long day to take care of someone living with dementia. So taking care of, the health needs, your checkups, your physicals, eating right, exercising, and trying to get enough rest.
I think those are good points, and like the exercise part would be like the first one I would say. I don't have time to exercise. Maybe yes. I could go to the doctor, but it's kind of like a package deal. You need to do all of it, right?
You sure do, Holly, and it's really important. And the thing about exercise is that, I think sometimes people think they have to go to a gym and make it all big and fancy. But really, it's, getting out, taking a walk, and bringing your person living with dementia along with you if that's possible. Doing some exercises at home. And people who are living with dementia, the part of their brain where music resides, that part of the brain is not really affected. And so they love, especially if they've loved listening to music, getting them dancing, moving to music is also a lot of fun. And it's great exercise.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right. So also stress has got to be a big part of a caregiver. Yes. And so kind of manage that too.
Absolutely. I think, whatever your strategies are, people handle and manage stress differently. Overeating would not be a good thing, but, getting a break, getting some exercise, getting outside in nature, if you're a person that likes to be outside, visiting with some other family members, playing with the grandkids, just really enlisting that village of support that's around you. We also have a lot of caregiver support groups, particularly in the Lima area, that people can access to talk to other folks who are on this journey with them, which is, really important and very supportive.
Yeah, I bet talking with other caregivers, you're doing the best you can do, but sometimes you feel
yes.
like it's not good enough. And I assume support groups help you with that too.
They sure do, because, we can talk about it and we can empathize with those caregivers, but unless you've really been on that journey, it's hard. And so, attending a support group, a lot of people don't like to go and sit with strangers and share personal things. I totally get that. But they're really important because it offers you a perspective with people who are also on the journey with you. And they might be able to, you might be having a problem with your person. Somebody may be able to offer you a suggestion that you hadn't thought of. And you can do the same for someone else. Maybe someone else new comes into the group and you're able to help them with something. So they're just very valuable. They're led by very, very well-trained volunteers and staff. So it's important if you feel like you can do that to reach out for that support.
You talk about, things change, I assume, in these situations. And even though, you're doing the best you can, change is probably inevitable. And so to talk with other people about that, that's also probably helpful too.
It sure is. It sure is. When I'm working with my families, I always tell them, okay, so what you're doing today is working today and things are going well. tomorrow may be totally different, and you have to readjust your strategies. You have to readjust your caregiving, and that's just part of the journey, part of the disease process. And so, again, talking with folks who are on that journey can be very, very helpful. And it's hard. People have to get to a place of acceptance and understanding of what they're dealing with. And I think that's where we can be very helpful anytime along that journey.
Right, yeah, it's tough being a caregiver, but Alzheimer's Association is there to help out. Thanks for joining us today, Pam.
You are very welcome. Thank you, Holly.
All right, don't go away. Noon Edition continues in a moment.